celebrating the idea of coherence. It is an idea of very broad application. It's not just religion, it's not science, it's not politics, it's not philosophy only, it's not even a personal quality. It's a value, I guess. And it's very close to the idea of unity. And so I light this candle for the power of the Christ in us to have coherence with the good, with the highest good for all. Next Sunday, we have a guest speaker. I'm going to be going to a weekend training on self-mastery with the Coptics. Oh, that's such good stuff. And our guest speaker is Barb Olson, who's speaking on the wise heart. Okay. Then, by popular demand, Gail Newton has to have an attitudinal healing gathering once a month. And it's going to be this Tuesday, which is going to be, what is that? The 8th of January. And what time do they meet? 6:30. Anyone who wants to jump in and get the vibe of attitudinal healing, which I see as a marvelous technique for actually applying and living what we teach in Unity. Staying positive, changing your perception, mastering your reactions. It's a wonderful work. So I can say that for our catalog of events, we canceled the compassionate communication. We will reschedule that. But the seminars, which are a Saturday event from 3 to 8 and require an extended amount of instruction and exploration, we'll have a potluck during the time, and that's going to be the Saturday after next, the 19th of January, if you want to sign up for it, and come and experience an extended engagement with this wonderful work called Spiral Dynamics. Has anybody heard of it? They have it in Unity magazine from time to time. It's sort of a really, it's a weaving together of history and philosophy and sociology and anthropology and spirit to explain how come the Bible has different narratives about what God is like. Well, because in different epochs, they thought of God differently, and it's all combined in the Bible. So that's really how they're teaching Bible now at Unity School, is in terms of spiral dynamics. So it's a real useful understanding to have, but it takes a while to wrap your head around, and it's a very extensive body of work. So let's do it, you know? It's fun. So look in your program folder, and it says a special occasion. And that special occasion is a love offering dinner with sloppy joes, green salad, etc., etc. So next Sunday, bring your posse, plan to stay for a nice long time of a meal, and the fellowship is free. So come one, come all. Thank you. So, we have a little dramatization here for you. There's no point to it. Please don't try to derive any moral statement out of this. We're just making fun of ourselves here, okay? All right.
Okay. I need to talk to a Unity minister. Which one should I call? There are several around here in this big metropolis. Oh, here's one.
Hello, this is Reverend Sits in Prayer. Whatever you perceive to be a need right now, know that in the absolute, you have no needs. You're welcome.
Well, that was nice. I'm going to call somebody else. Maybe this one.
Hello, this is Reverend Bless You Now. I'm in the silence right now and cannot speak with you. If you're having a need for prayer and or counsel, ask yourself the following. Have I tithed lately? Have I given a full 10%? Have I done so with joy? If the answer to any one of these questions is no, write a check to the church, sign it with joy in your heart, drop it in the mail, wait 30 days, and see if your need for my counsel hasn't vanished. Thank you, and God bless.
Greedy bloodsuckers. I'm going to try one more.
Hello, this is Reverend Willbedone. In this moment, I am not available for you in the first, second, or third dimension. Go into the silence. Go to the fourth dimension. You won't need me there. God bless.
These people need to get a clue. I'm going to try one more time. Maybe I'll get a real live person.
This is Reverend Forevermore. God loves you. That's all you need to know. Release, let go, and hang up now.
Oh, wow. I guess I'm going to have to look within. Maybe I'll find a support group for that.
It's called Sunday Gathering at Unity. All right, talking about the idea of coherence, the blessing of coherence. And this is one in a series of what I call the blessings. There's going to be the blessing of fellowship, the blessing of surrender, the blessing of order. Our friend Peggy Reeves is preparing a sermon for when I'm going to be in Germany on February 10th. She's studying a book called, what is it, Leadership with Brene Brown. You know what that is? About vulnerability. She's going to talk about the blessing of vulnerability, the blessing of seeing the Christ, and the blessing of glorifying God. So I'm thrilled about this. But for now, the blessing of coherence, I see coherence as something that could really transform the entire world, if understood properly. Now, there's a phenomenon in nature called entrainment. And it means the synchronization of organisms to an external rhythm. You have also two liquids, when combined, form a suspension that becomes consistent. Even the phenomenon of social conformity lends agreement to the observation that things tend to blend in symmetry. So it's natural to be in a type of cohesive contact with our surroundings and with each other. We have to put forth an effort, actually, to diverge away from that tendency. Remember the slogan from the 60s? Tune in, turn on, drop out. I mean, remember that. It was kind of controversial, but that applies here. To have coherence with the cycles of the earth, to have coherence with the highest ideals of humanity, and with the divine plan, we have to tune in. Heart math talks about heart coherence. That means having agreement with the mind and the heart. It means that the heart energy is an outgrowth of our deepest processes. And when they are in alignment with the thoughts of the conscious mind, then there is heart coherence. And that's a whole work, and we're going to do an event about heart math. But this is a basic foundation for proceeding to be in coherence with that which is beyond our own personal domain. So we begin by setting the intention to be in coherence with an idea. If we want to have the intention of the idea of world peace, then to be in coherence with that idea, we need to be in harmony with every person in our lives, indeed with every creature in our lives. That includes pests and fleas, actually. Coherence. Indeed, with every condition that we confront. When we decree through the Christ mind, we are unified in thought, purpose, and understanding. We use a very powerful and amazing idea. What is the Christ mind exactly? The mind of Christ is a state of consciousness first articulated by Paul, the Apostle Paul, because he was saying we have the mind of the flesh and we have the mind of Christ. That's from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16. When we invoke that aspect of our being, we greatly expand our power to create coherence, to be unified with greater and greater numbers of souls, such that there is coherence emerging from being unified in thought, purpose, and understanding. The complete unity affirmation, which was actually used during World War II as a prayer for world peace, it was, through the Christ mind, we are unified in thought, purpose, and understanding, and inspired to right action for the security and freedom of all humankind. This is reflected in the quip so often heard. A little girl said once, "One day they'll give a war and no one will come." That's coherence. Imagine all of humanity acting with awareness of creating a humane and sustainable world. Imagine all of humanity acting with awareness of creating harmony and abundance everywhere on earth. Imagine every individual empowered to create their lives fulfilled in self-expression and relationship. If we live in coherence with the practice of non-resistance and non-judgment, we will flow into a life of joyous harmony and freedom. I say that again, I just think that's the gem of this whole day. If we live in coherence with the practice of non-resistance and non-judgment, we will flow into a life of joyous harmony and freedom. In counseling, I notice when a person is not coherent, it's an indication that they are in a state of ill health, mentally or physically or both. We could see the condition of illness in the body as a kind of incoherence in the physical functioning of the body. In our relationships, I notice that conflicts are an outgrowth of incoherence in understanding what each person experiences of the other person. If we use coherence as a measuring stick for how we will create our context, asking ourselves, is this coherent with my intention to have integrity? Is this coherent with my intention to choose love? Is this coherent with my intention to be of service and give to others, to trust God? Then we have a discipline that will strengthen our spiritual growth. Is this what we want? Is this what you want? It doesn't just happen. You consciously must discern that you want it. A lot of times people ask me, well, how do you do this? How do you get that? How do you attain this? How do you create that? By wanting to. And this is what our deepest desires yearn for. And it's attainable as we step into this practice. So be of good cheer. Your power through the Christ mind is here, right in you, right now. It's a rhyme. Be of good cheer. Your power through the Christ mind is here. I know every person in here has experienced deep meditation in the silence. And so now we join together in this sacred gathering to experience it the same place and the same time as one, greatly empowered, magnified by joining together in that holy light. Our statement for meditation is, in our unity of spirit, we are guided by infinite wisdom and prospered by divine love. And so before we vocalize that together, let us prepare by breathing deeply, relaxing at every level, pulling the plug on the moment-to-moment awareness, the concerns, the engagements, the connections, the communications. We let go to dwell within, to rest in peace, to listen to the music of the spheres, to behold the light of the divine, and to feel the love everlasting. Our statement for meditation is, in our unity of purpose, we are guided by infinite wisdom and prospered by divine love. And let's say that together now. Together, in our unity of purpose, we are guided by infinite wisdom and prospered by divine love. And say that silently in your heart. For we feel the expanding anointing of energy in coming into coherence with unity of purpose, to be guided by infinite wisdom, to be prospered by divine love in the silence. The gates are open, wide, and as we close this time in meditation, we know that we never leave the abiding presence. And so it is. Amen.